This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we are continuing our holiday arcs.
Mm-hmm.
This one currently being Thanksgiving / fall / autumn /
November
theme things.
Do we see November on a calendar in the episode?
Boom. Then that's
Thanksgiving episode.
Oh man, I'll tell you offline, or I don't know, maybe I should
just tell me now.
Here.
Tell me now.
Okay, so I was considering doing something else originally before I picked the 2 episodes that I'm doing for my Thanksgiving thing.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna do, and I don't want to derail this too much, but I was going to do Chicken Run. You remember that movie? From
Barely.
Like 2001, 2002. It's like the claymation movie with
yes,
the chickens.
Yes, by like the people who made Wallace and Gromit, I think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I was originally going to do that as a 2-part episode. I was like, yeah, it kind of seems like fall. And I actually watched it. It's on Peacock. I went back to watch it because I was like, okay, I think I'll do this. I had to fucking pull out like a magnifying glass to find things that would have made it relevant other than the fact that it just looks like it's fall. But I will say there is one place where literally it shows a calendar where it's November. And so I was like, oh, I could do this.
Boom.
But then I decided not to do it anymore.
Nope. Stay tuned for next November, 2024. Alexis is doing Chicken Run.
I will do Chicken Run. We're saying it right here
because
I've already watched it.
Put it in the tracker.
I like paused my TV and I like walked up to it and I was looking like, does that calendar say November? Okay,
also,
I can do that.
Does that, because it's, again, the makers of Wallace and Gromit, does that take place in England?
It does, yes, exactly.
Fuck it, she's doing it.
I'm like, I'm really stretching and reaching with this. Hey, we said it last week and a couple weeks ago. It can be kind of hard to find Thanksgiving themed animated things, but you know what? Fine, fuck it. I'll break the rules.
Doing it next year.
Next year, I will.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Doing it live. All right. Chicken Run. It takes place in, I think, Liverpool. I don't know.
It's in England.
World War
II.
They
don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
It's a cold day in November.
November. We know it.
Yes. Anyways, yes. So for those who are just joining us and have no clue what the fuck we're talking about, the last 3 months of the year, every year we do specific holiday themed arcs because October's got Halloween, November's got Thanksgiving, December's got Christmas / New Year / just winter wonderlands. So each episode in each of those months, we focus on animated shows dealing with those exact things, kind of ish, maybe. And of course, yeah. So this month we're on Thanksgiving / fall / autumn, all those things we said before. Yes. I went last week. Grace is going to go today. So take it away.
Yes. So for my first Thanksgiving episode, it is blatantly a Thanksgiving episode.
Wonderful.
It's not November. It's not loose. It's
okay.
We're talking about Thanksgiving the whole time.
All right.
And we are getting wild with it with the wild Thornberrys. Yes, they
first spit my coffee out.
Believe it or not, I have a Thanksgiving episode.
Who knew?
Yep. Well, I did. Now.
You knew.
Once I looked it up.
Now we all know.
Thank
you.
Oh no, you're welcome, everyone. So technically, I think this is season 3, episode 11. But Paramount Plus has it as like season 4, episode 19. It's all over the place.
Okay.
And also, this episode is technically called A Family Tradition, but I'm renaming it The True Meaning of Thanksgiving.
Aww.
Yes, not the true meaning of Christmas. That's next month. The true meaning of Thanksgiving.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. So as a reminder, if you're unfamiliar with the show or you haven't listened to our Wild Thornberrys arc, which... What are you doing?
Who even are you?
What is this? Go back and listen to that. All 8 episodes of that and then return to this to get you in the wild
Get
mood.
Busy.
Yeah. Clear your schedule. We look at your November calendar, clear it.
Clear it, all of it.
Yep. So the show follows a family of naturalists and filmmakers who travel the world to very remote places, making planet Earth style films. And one of their daughters, our main character, Eliza Thornberry, by the way, can communicate with animals. And as is sometimes the case with Wild Thornberrys, we explained this back in our arc, so y'all already know.
It's on you for not knowing,
exactly.
And viewers.
But again, I assume you paused and went and re-listened to like 8 hours of episodes and then returned to this because you were so invested in learning about it.
Yeah.
The Wild Thornberrys episodes are more adventure and survival stories than like crime stories, although they can be pretty violent. So just with that caveat here, we're going on a little adventure today.
Nice.
So we kick off our story in Madagascar. And cool. You might be wondering a few things off the bat. First, Thanksgiving in Madagascar. That's not where the Mayflower landed.
No.
Correct. It did not. Anywhere close to it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Is basically all I have to say about that. It passed by, leaving England, going down to the like west coast of Africa or the east coast of Africa, then coming back up and
to Massachusetts, present day Massachusetts.
They got confused because it was MA for both places, Massachusetts and Madagascar, and they just got their maps mixed up.
They got super mixed up.
Yeah, they looked at the wrong one to start.
Yeah.
And I'm real excited. And you might be wondering, Grace, why are you so stoked about Madagascar? And let me tell you, by pure happenstance, Madagascar does actually have to do with the Olskamp family Thanksgiving traditions.
Oh, interesting.
In a weird chain of events by pure happenstance, with this episode being in Thanksgiving in Madagascar for the Thornberrys, it does have a connection to one of my Thanksgiving traditions, which I will now regale you all with briefly.
Yes, please.
Everyone in my family listening is already rolling their eyes, knowing where this is going. So, a little background here. In maybe like first, second grade-ish, I either had to do a report about like a country or an animal. I landed on doing a report about chameleons in Madagascar. And I learned so much about them at this time. I was obsessed with these two entities.
Okay.
And at the time, my family had a Thanksgiving tradition where every year, I think it was after Thanksgiving dinner, we would do a trivia game. And I was the host of trivia. So I would divvy off my family into teams of 2. We had buzzers. But some in my family would say that little 10-year-old Grace was a little bit of a dictator.
Oh.
When I played trivia.
No.
You? No.
Wow.
That some of my family called me the trivia Nazi because I was a small psychopath.
Okay.
About the rules, about who buzzed in, about what counted as a correct answer. They gave me the power, Grace, and I ran with it, and it was their mistake, frankly. So every year, all of the trivia I would write, because I wrote it all, was literally just whatever I was learning in school at the time. So like Grant, my older brother, was really good at it because he was only a year ahead of me. So he like learned that shit. I learned the year before.
Last year.
Yeah, everyone else was like,
this game is rigged. Yeah. It's rigged for second and third graders.
Literally, yes. And it was like the obscure, not like, here's a math problem I learned, but it was, here's 10 questions about Madagascar and chameleons, which happened also that year.
It's not even like stuff you necessarily learned in class. It's something that you learned for a report that you did for class.
It wasn't like American history.
Your class about it. Yeah.
Yes. It was American history that second graders learn, which is like the word, the Mayflower. Yeah. It was, buckle up, people. What is the 4th largest island in the world and the world's 2nd largest island country? Madagascar, which is 2 fun facts about Madagascar.
Hey, thank you. You've held on to those for 20 some years.
It's been worth it, honestly. Yeah. So yes, when my family thinks of Madagascar, which we obviously do often, question, they think of me and Thanksgiving and me probably yelling that my family was wrong because they got the questions incorrect. This wasn't multiple choice. It was like, here's the question.
One answer
what's
or you're
the answer?
done.
Buzz in. When you idiots.
Which is even more messed up. Like this.
Yeah, I wasn't like, here are some island country options that could be the second largest island country. I was like, name them.
Name it. What is it?
Come at me.
What is it?
Let me get my report out. It's like hand drawn, like chameleons by literally a second grader. Let me give you idiots a presentation. Let's learn some things. Yeah, that was me.
How do you not know this?
Yeah.
I learned this in second grade.
Yeah, I'm literally a 10-year-old. What do you guys have to say for yourselves? Anyways, so that's my little Thanksgiving tradition, little peek behind the curtain that, yes, I was just so excited when the episode opened upon Madagascar. And I was like, again, no wonder I fucking love Wild Thornberrys so much.
Exactly.
For all I know, I picked Madagascar and chameleons from this episode. They're chameleons in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Can I also say that I was expecting the story to go something like, yes, one time my family, my father was on business or something, or had to go to a conference.
They needed soup in Madagascar.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where Campbell's sell shit.
Worldwide, baby.
Yeah, and his flight got canceled, so he had to spend his Thanksgiving in that. I thought it was going to be something a lot like Home Alone style, like
nope, or just like that. We spent it there because we got to travel with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, it was me being a dictator, a small, curly-haired, blonde, little evil dictator who was power hungry and has never known a high like that since then,
and just wondered why her family just didn't know the basic facts about world geography and Madagascar
and chameleons.
Yeah,
it's common knowledge. So anyways, for the Thornberrys in Madagascar, actually not in Maryland at my aunt's house being yelled at about Madagascar, they're actually in Madagascar.
The other MA starting place. It all comes together.
Those pilgrims got real confused.
Yeah.
So was my family. So were the pilgrims.
Yeah.
So it is the day before Thanksgiving with the Thornberrys, and they are in Madagascar trying to get footage for the Foundation, which basically is like National Geographic, and it sponsors the Thornberrys' lifestyle, all of their travels. That is who they work for. They get this footage and make their nature show for. Basically sponsors their livelihood. And specifically, they're trying to get footage of an animal called a fossa. So this is like a cat-like animal in Madagascar, and they almost look like small cougars. Like I think they only get up to like 25 pounds or something like that. But they're just like mini cougars. Yeah, look them up really quick. They're like pretty cute, but also when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, you are just like a shrunken mountain lion.
That's interesting. What? It's like if a dachshund was a cougar.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the small version of it, essentially.
Oh, but it's adorable.
I know
their face is a little.
Their eyes are real big.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Never heard of
it. Same. So again, how did you not know this information about Madagascar?
Yeah. Sorry. God, I'd be right there with your family. Like, what is this bitch, bro?
I know. They're like
going crazy.
Fossa, should she just make up a fucking animal? Why she asking questions about fossas? This child has a wild imagination, which is still true. And hilariously, Nigel and Marianne, so the Thornberry parents, have not been able to see a fossa. Instead, they've only been seeing lemurs everywhere, which I say is funny because 50% of a fossa's diet is lemurs. So they're seeing the prey everywhere.
Holy crap.
But not the fossa. Yeah, so it's just another little Fossa Madagascar fact for you. For you to quiz your family on it. You know what? This Thanksgiving dinner, when politics comes up, change the subject to Madagascar. Yeah. It works every time.
That's interesting. The economy and all. Yes, yes. Have you all heard of one of the most common animals in the country of Madagascar?
Did you know that fossas 50% of their diet? Any guesses? Oh, you don't even know what a fossa is? Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Are you familiar with
a dachshund if it were a cougar?
And a baby? It'd be a fossa. Anyways, what were you saying about the election next year? Doesn't matter. So this lack of fossa sighting has been really stressing Marianne and Nigel out. They've been there in Madagascar in like this remote part of it for 4 weeks with no actual sighting of them. And the deadline to get this footy for the foundation, tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day.
Yikes. Oh.
So I know, I'm working on Thanksgiving.
What is the foundation thinking? That's crazy.
They are just, well, here's the thing is that the special about the fossa is scheduled to come out next week. Thus, they have a tight ass turnaround. They got work Thanksgiving, Black Friday, the weekend, Cyber Monday. None of those matter.
Small Business Tuesday or Sunday, whatever the fuck it is.
Doesn't matter. They got it. Get this footage, turn it around for editing. Those editors are like, you assholes haven't gotten us the footage yet. Now we have to work on Thanksgiving. So
we're gonna go on strike.
This has a trickle down effect of them not getting this footage. So they again are stressed. Again, this is also their livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, Nigel is trying to keep a positive attitude, noting that like at least we've been seeing fossa tracks. And again, presumably we're surrounded by their prey, so they're going to get hungry at some point, right? There's like lemurs hopping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But Marianne, as always, is really stressed. She's always kind of the more logical, more realistic, focused one, saying that like, yeah, that's great, but we haven't seen one. The foundation is going to get pissed at us.
Yeah.
We might lose our jobs here. So they're out in the field again, trying to get this footage. And back at the ComV, which is their giant like camper essentially, Eliza and Darwin are picking papayas from the trees to start prepping for their own Thanksgiving feast that they're going to have the next day. Since their parents are working, it's on Eliza and her older sister Debbie to prepare for the holiday, get the food ready, decorate, etc., etc. And as they pick all these papayas, Darwin, who by the way, for those unfamiliar with the show, is a monkey or a chimp. I don't know whichever one he is. He's one of them.
Yeah.
And again, Eliza can talk to him, and he's like their family pet / other child.
Gray area, but yes.
Yeah, it's confusing. Darwin is very excited about Thanksgiving. This seems to maybe be one of his first Thanksgivings with them. And he is just like stoked about the food. He's gotten bits and pieces about like American Thanksgiving. And so he's like, I don't know, the Pilgrims had what? Cranberry sauce? We're going to make papaya sauce. Like, let's do it. Yes, it's a very skewed vision of history here, which, you know, again, the American
he's a chimp.
And yes, he's a chimpanzee. Why would he know
from like the
what
Congo
a pilgrim
or
is?
Something like that? Yeah.
Or why would he care what even America is? Like,
exactly. He just likes food. That's really his thing.
Keep this in mind. It's an important theme for Darwin. Yes. And even Debbie, who is Eliza's older sister, the usually very angsty, angry teenager, is stoked about Thanksgiving. Correctly, it seems to be her favorite holiday. She has been spending all morning making like centerpieces for the table tomorrow, even starting to lay out like the little picnic table they're going to use for dinner. They have this like quilt tablecloth that they use every single year for the holiday. It's like patched together every year. They add to it of like where they are that year for Thanksgiving. So it's like this very special quilt.
Cute.
But as she's laying things out, again, she's made these centerpieces that are made of like various fruits and flora and that kind of stuff from the surrounding jungle. A bunch of lemurs keep jumping in and taking the fruit as snacks and like ruining her centerpieces. And understandably, Debbie is like starting to get pretty pissed that she's just like, why can't we just have a normal Thanksgiving where lemurs don't suddenly jump on my table and ruin my centerpieces? Which like,
same.
Yeah. Same girl. This is my favorite holiday. And wild animals keep on ruining my hard work. I get it.
Yeah.
And as this is happening, Eliza and Darwin return and just kind of like toss their papayas onto the table. knocking over more of Debbie's work. And they start peppering her with questions about whether or not she's started on the stuffing for, Thanksgiving the next day. At this point, Debbie, like anyone who is in charge of kind of being the host for Thanksgiving.
Grace, you can
stressful. Yeah. This is relatable content that Debbie is like, no, I have not started whatever weird stuffing we're making this year, camping out in the middle of nowhere, not having just normal stuffing for once.
Grace channeling 20 years ago. Why do they not know about Madagascar?
Why am I surrounded by idiots? Debbie and I really relate to each other in this moment.
Yes.
And Eliza, again, being the little sister, snaps back saying that stuffing is a tradition in our family. It's mom's favorite dish, which it's also my favorite dish. So I'm actually on Eliza's side, IRL in this case. And so Eliza's like, we got to make it happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily at this point, the radio in the combi, the satellite radio, starts ringing, saving the sisters from a fight, which neither of us have sisters, but I imagine that's also a holiday tradition, is that siblings fight. Yeah. Sisters in particular, I'm sure. Yeah. So they dash inside excitedly to pick it up. And the person on the other line, no, it's not their dad, Nigel, as voiced by our hero, Tim Curry. Instead, it's voiced by another hero of ours, another legend. Marianne Thornberry's mother, Grandma Sophie, aka R.I.P. Betty fucking White is calling them.
For a brief moment, I forgot that she passed away because in my mind, she lives forever. Rest in peace, Queen. The real queen that died this year.
The only queen's death. We Americans, we won this war, so we'd have to only care about our real queen, Betty White.
Queen Betty White. Dame Betty White.
Yes, Dame Betty White. Queen Betty White. So yes.
Yay.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
She is an icon, a legend, a queen, perfection, and continues to be
perfection personified.
Exactly. Can do no wrong. Yes. And for example, decide to voice a character in Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah, because
hell yeah, Betty
White.
Not?
Yeah. She's like, I'm free this
out.
afternoon. Sure. Yeah. And a few other afternoons when I'm a recurring character. Why not?
And truly, she has I don't know, 20 lines tops in this episode.
Yeah, that's truly not bad. That's probably 5 minutes. $300, $400 for her that day.
Yeah, she was really I'm around.
Yeah.
Good old Sir Curry texted me. I'll do him a favor.
Sir Curry.
I imagine. Sir Tim
the knighted Sir Tim Curry.
So yes, Grandma Sophie, aka Betty White, is Marianne Thornberry's mom. So it's Eliza and Debbie's grandmother. We'll call her Grandma Sophie and or Betty White. She is an older woman with short curly hair.
Okay.
She's very short, a little stocky, aka she's just Betty White.
Betty White.
They just put glasses on her.
Animated.
Yeah. It made her Betty White.
Nice.
But she's wearing this fuzzy robe. She's at home back in America. Super excited to chat with her granddaughters and check in with them as she is also already prepping for Thanksgiving. And on the radio here, the satellite radio, Eliza and Debbie are all but drooling on the other end as Grandma Sophie lists off everything she's making for Thanksgiving. She's prepping some turkey, obviously going to have stuffing, potatoes, rolls, you name it, she's got it. Multiple types of pie. And Betty White on the other line, as she hears the girls just being like, Grandma, that sounds so good, is like, what's wrong with you girls? Is your mother not feeding you? So classic cute grandma move.
Yes.
But the convo continues and Grandma Sophie reveals the real reason she's calling. she has been doing research on one of those .com places, which is literally what she says, which is very funny because it's also like 2000. So it's it was one of those .com places.
Right after the .com bubble, people were just figuring out what the internet was.
Yep, especially for Betty White, a little old right now. She figured it out though.
Yeah.
But she says that she's been doing some research and she found flights leaving that night that could get them all back home to America for Thanksgiving, which
I was just like looking around and, I happened to find like 6 tickets to America from Madagascar. I was like, I don't know. I was just came across it.
Literally, that's the vibe. Because here's the thing. Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're in Madagascar. Grandma Sophie's in America and literally says, you'll get in by 9 p.m. tomorrow night. We'll save you a plate, which they will have missed Thanksgiving.
Yeah, at that point, no, it's not worth it. Love you and love Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But no, we'll figure it out here.
Yes. And I'm like, maybe the Thornberrys just didn't have service. And so Grandma Sophie continually tried to call them and just wasn't getting through. Answer. But again, they've got a satellite radio going on.
Yeah, she got through now, so she could have gotten through earlier somehow.
Exactly. And being was she continually looking up the flights every day, being like, oh no, there's one today. Oh, now there's one today. Now there's one today. I think
Could you imagine? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, could you imagine eating Thanksgiving dinner at 9 p.m. after being on a flight all day?
For 20, I don't even know how long of a flight, a 20+ hour flight.
Yeah, I would feel like crap.
Yeah, you would feel horrible. Again, you missed all of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a full day experience.
It's the full day. It's the only, I guess I do for Christmas too, just because of the nature of it. But it's really the only holiday that I excitedly get up super freaking early for. So exactly. I don't even like the parade, but I still watch the parade because it is just it's what you do. It's just what you do. You gotta cook have and stuff while the parade's on.
The
and
parade
is or something.
Yeah, you're cooking. The parade is on. The dog show's on.
The Puppy Bowl comes on.
Football Puppy Bowl. I guess football.
Amazing.
I don't watch that part, but it's on.
We watch football. We watch all those things.
Exactly.
Everything, one after the other, after the other. We have the Puppy Bowl on one TV or the dog show on, and then football on the other TV, and go back and forth. And
happening
stuff.
while
it's
you're
all
cooking.
And you got to get up early so you can make it. You can watch it all and cook.
Thank you.
4.
Yeah. Grandma Sophie's
sacred holiday.
Yes,
Grandma Sophie, you're fucking it up.
Yes, Grandma Sophie. This is sacrilege, frankly.
Yes. I love you, Betty White. Rest in peace. But what the fuck?
But who wrote this? You should have refused this role.
I'm sure
fire the writer.
$300 was worth it, but was it really worth it to say such horrible things?
Someone should have gotten fired over this line of saying,
anyway,
you'll get in by 9 p.m. It's fine. We'll save you a plate. No.
No.
So my reaction to this was this isn't even a question. The answer is no. Rude. The episode's over.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sorry, Grandma. Bye.
Oh God. So how are Eliza and Debbie gonna respond? Okay, go ahead. These bitches.
These idiots. Again, I'm surrounded by idiots. But here's the thing. I will give Debbie and Eliza a little bit of slack because they have never had a normal Thanksgiving.
Okay.
They have only ever been basically.
Well, this wouldn't be normal either.
But they don't know. That's the thing.
That. To them, that is normal, flying 20 hours to have Thanksgiving dinner.
Again, they
in America
only ever experienced Thanksgiving camping in remote ass places. At one point, Debbie named their food last year, and it was they were in Iceland or Greenland or something, and named some type of weird fish stuffing that they had, and Debbie was it was fucking gross. Again, to them, they've never had normal Thanksgiving, and so the prospect of having at least Thanksgiving in America with turkey, normal stuffing, again, the prospect of normal food And also being surrounded by the rest of their family. Like Grandma Sophie was naming off all the cousins, the aunts and uncles that are going to be there, all of this stuff. Like,
that's fair.
They are overjoyed.
Yeah.
And Darwin is even overjoyed because he says, quote, like, we can feast like the pilgrims. So again, Darwin's even like, hell yeah, all I know about this holiday is the food. Like, we are scarce on food in the middle of the jungle here. Or like normal Thanksgiving food. Yeah, he's like, I've been eating papayas day in and day out.
You mean I don't have to make papaya sauce? Like
right, he's
actual
like,
cranberry
sauce from the can like the pilgrims did?
Yeah.
Amazing. Darwin cannot wait.
It's funny too. Has Darwin ever even been to America? Probably not. So. Yeah, poor boy. He's missing out on so much.
Exactly. And I think again, like Eliza and Debbie, I'm sure, like, you know, as humans are aware of what Thanksgiving should be. And so again, they're just excited about like this prospect of like, oh my God, we could have one sense of normalcy over this like incredible best holiday of the year.
Yes. Okay.
So,
all right. And they're young. I'll give
exactly. And again, have probably never experienced a true Thanksgiving. Like
I sympathize I sympathize with them.
Right.
Because they're young, but
Sophie was wrong. Grandma Sophie,
what the fuck are you doing? Why are you offering this? But okay, I get why the girls are like, oh, that would be amazing.
Exactly. Whatever. Grandma Sophie should have, which also this is my other like comment of like, you got to plan Thanksgiving weeks in advance of how many plates you're going to need, how many people.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of extra plates. That's
six people.
You're just going to like let a chimp sit with you guys. Is anyone allergic? Anyone have any allergies? What about Donnie?
Yeah,
Donnie is wild. He does not destroy the whole place. No.
He does not know what it's like to eat in a home. Period.
You don't even wear a shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a mess.
Yes. So Grandma Sophie fucked this up, I will say.
Okay.
We'll give credit to Eliza and Debbie. So as soon as Nigel and Marianne walk back to camp, they're like coming back from filming for some lunch. Debbie and Eliza are immediately begging them to accept Grandma Sophie's offer and have everyone go home for Thanksgiving. And Marianne does say it's tempting, but they need to get the footage for the foundation, and they can't just leave this project unfinished and fly halfway across the world at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Sorry, girls. But Nigel, the forever fun dad, says like, you know what, Marianne, we did see some tracks by the river. So if we maybe skip lunch and go back to keep trying to track this fossa down, the girls could start to pack up camp and we could maybe make this flight. So of course,
I'm girls don't even stressed out thinking about this. Like, this is stressing me out so much.
This is a lot of stakes happening.
Yeah, I know. It's like, if we do this, and if after we do that, this happens, then maybe
we'll
be able to make it.
Flight off this island in Africa.
I'm stressed. I'm getting hot.
And like, no worries that we haven't seen this fucking animal the last 4 weeks. I'm sure in the next 40 minutes before we have to leave the country, we could find it. We could
do it. Girls, start packing up the RV in case if maybe we are possibly able to kind of maybe make it in time.
But also that caveat you just said, the girls did not hear that. They immediately go wild. They heard the word maybe and they heard yes.
Yeah, maybe yes. Boom, gone, packing shit up.
Literally, yes. They're like, maybe we could. Marianne's like glaring at him because that's not a good parent move. The girls are like packing shit up so quickly. So,
parents, if you're listening, from two people who are not parents,
but
we'll
love
give you some
Thanksgiving
advice. Set the bar low. Set the expectations low.
Right.
Don't give your kids too much hope.
Experts, do not lead them on when it comes to Thanksgiving.
No.
We would also be fucking crushed by this. So, yes, the girls go crazy. They're so happy. They start packing everything up. Nigel and Marianne go back out to the field because they're like, Nigel, this is on you. We gotta fucking find this animal now. Yeah. So As they're packing up, hilariously, Darwin is like, Eliza, tell me about Thanksgiving in America. And Eliza starts out by going like, well, Darwin, the Pilgrims' first winter was really rough, and is about to launch into all of this. And Darwin cuts her off and is like, no, what do you eat? Like, tell me about the feast we're about to have. Like, I don't give a fuck about American history.
Fair.
Give me.
Same.
Tell me about that food. Yeah, exactly. So, like, respect to Darwin. Like, he knows what Thanksgiving is about here. So they're packing everything up. The girls are actually getting along. Debbie is even willing to, like, you know, again, she's like the teenage girl. And she's even willing to like pack that quilt tablecloth thing that they always have because it's, you know, their tradition. She's like, yeah, I'll make room in my bag. Like, fuck it. I don't care. I don't need these extra clothes. Let's bring it.
Debbie, which, like, for real sacrificing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All she cares about is fashion. And she's willing to bring this because she's like, yeah, family tradition. As long as we go, let's do this.
Nice.
And as they're about to pack it, you know, Donnie runs through and grabs it and makes like a little cape. And they're like, Donnie. But
again, imagine how he'll be at the dinner table.
He's ripping those tablecloths out from underneath all these these dishes and plates for sure.
Yes.
But of course, Nigel and Marianne reemerge from trying to capture footage. And the second they walk out of the woods, the girls can tell something's wrong. And the parents, again, Marianne is like looking at Nigel being like, you got to be the bearer of bad news here.
You got to fucking tell them it's your fault.
Yeah, you got us into this expectation setting pickle. So, yes, the girls can tell something is wrong. And the parents explain that they didn't find the fossa. So they're going to have to stay through tomorrow to get this footage. And we promise we'll go to America next year for Thanksgiving, which again, y'all don't set that fucking expectation.
No,
you guys are doubling down.
We'll try to go to America next year for Thanksgiving. Depending on what our work schedule looks like, we'll think about going to America.
We'll try to go to America next year, period. Don't date it. Don't say it's on Thanksgiving. Don't attach it to a specific date.
No strings, nothing. Just
be there next year.
To go to America.
We'll try. Maybe. Not even United
next
States
year.
of America, just
it's America.
The Americas.
The Americas.
Yeah.
They like wind up in Brazil again.
And they're like,
kind of close.
How's the same word in it?
We're only one continent away.
Yay, we're closer. But of course, that is not enough for Debbie. Of course, Eliza's very disappointed, but Debbie starts yelling about how unfair it is. And on one hand, Nigel and Marianne are in the right because their plans were to be there for Thanksgiving, not to, with a few hours' notice, drop everything they're doing and fly across the world. You gotta plan shit out.
Exactly. Like, I was stressed even just hearing about it.
Exactly. About
Imagine
this change
how they felt.
International travel plans is complicated, especially with children.
Yeah. And like when you're working, like you're in the middle of your work day and it's like, oh shit, you mean I have to finish this assignment I've been working on for weeks. Like in 30 minutes now?
Right. To just drop off the hat, change all of this. So like they're in the right of like, this is not a realistic plan. I will say on the other hand, in Debbie's arguing here, she makes, I don't want to say it's like a good point because it's clearly like dramatic for this moment, but it's like a devastating blow by Debbie that like does kind of bring up like a good overarching point about the fact that they're even here for the holidays and the parents took this assignment. So I'm going to relay it here almost verbatim of this argument that ensues.
Yeah.
So Nigel is saying like, we gave the foundation our word that we would get this footage. And Debbie is yelling like, who cares? And Marianne, trying to be calm, steps in and says like, Deborah, using the full first name, Deborah, you know the foundation relies on us. And Deborah claps back with, so do we. Maybe if we were an endangered species, we'd matter to you too. And storms off into the combi as Nigel says, the fossa's threatened, not endangered. Which Marianne glares at him and is like, shut your fucking mouth, Nigel. So like, yeah.
Yikes. Whoa.
Damn, girl.
Damn, that
A good point.
Deep. It's not a bet. She's not wrong.
Exactly.
She's not
So
wrong.
she's bubbling up some other
Yikes.
issues happening in the family here. Which,
oh man, angsty teenagers, like
they
we always say,
blows.
the most,
The meanest,
the meanest, most dangerous words ever. Always
the
coming
most
from the angsty
cutting,
teenager,
psychologically devastating,
Ooh.
especially a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to cut you down, and yes, she did.
Wow.
So yeah, she storms off and slams the Convies door. Eliza's just like,
so I'm the favorite now, right?
So can I go to America? Debbie Brown,
I'm ready to leave now.
Deal here.
It's so awkward. I would love to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, so did you see that fossa? Do you want help? I don't want to be with either of you. And just then, this local guy rolls in. I think his name was like Gulan. And he rolls in. He's got like a cart with him that he's pulling with a bunch of local veggies and fruits for the Thornberrys special feast. They clearly kind of like ordered some extra local foods to make this huge feast for them. And so like awkward moment for him cutting in this like devastating family argument.
Imagine him with this like cart of food. He's all smiling and happy, like, yay, doing a great sale today. This beautiful family I've been working with. I can't wait. And all he hears is Debbie like, maybe if we were endangered animals, blah, 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 storm off.
I think he literally asks if he's interrupting something.
Like, so is this a good time to drop off?
Cash or
you guys
check?
Not having this.
We didn't discuss
I also take card. You like pulls out a card reader.
I invented this thing called Venmo.
Yeah.
Could we do it?
The sooner I get out of here, the better it seems for all of us.
All parties involved. Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you, Gulam, this whole episode is not having a good time.
Oh.
So yeah, he rolls into this shit. And yeah, again, I think literally it's like, am I interrupting? You still want this food for this feast that's definitely still happening, it seems like.
We're still doing this, right? This isn't canceled, right?
Right? I just harvested all of this for you. You're still gonna pay me no matter
the
what.
Money you're paying for the money you're paying for this is going to provide for my family tomorrow. So
right. You're still
please.
It looks like you've packed some bags. You're still paying for this, right?
Right.
But Marianne's feeling very guilty. She's devastated by this teenage blow. And Marianne asks, there's a couple flights off the island of Madagascar a day. Have the last few left yet? And the man tells her no. Nigel's like, what's going on here now? And Marianne, still hesitantly, says, maybe, just maybe, the kids can go fly back to the US themselves. We can stay and get this footage. The girls are old enough and responsible enough to go fly back to America themselves. And of course, the girls hear this. They are immediately on board. Yeah. And so Marianne goes to call her mom, aka Grandma Sophie, back on the radio to talk about it. And again, she's hesitant. She's like, we're always with the girls on Thanksgiving. I can't imagine this holiday with them halfway around the world. Which then double fucking whammy for Marianne's day. Because Grandma Sophie goes, yeah, I know the feeling. AKA her daughter's always halfway around the world.
Everyone hates Marianne today. Holy shit.
Marianne's having a bad holiday.
Yeah.
She's having not a good time.
In like a 20-minute span, she's been made out to be a bad mother and a bad daughter. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
Marianne's just like cutting her losses at this point and is just like, you know what?
Like, fuck you, mom. I'm sending them out there.
Yeah. Fuck you, mom. Fuck you, daughter. Neither of you. Fine. No one wants me. Fine. It is pretty devastating. Like you see, she is crushed by this, but yeah, again, and Sophie does say, like, you know what, you need to do what you think is best for the kids, et cetera, and you can tell, Marianne is going like mama bear time of just like, My kids were so excited. I don't want to take away their happiness. I don't want my mom's happiness to be taken away. So like, fine, y'all can spend it together. Like I'll take the L. I've already been knocked down twice. Might as well kick me while I'm down, everyone. My husband still
loves me, so there's one, I think.
I guess. I mean, he has to be here to be the host of this show, so he's have a fucking choice. So I guess he's staying. Real quick, not relevant at all to the plot, but because you did mention Donnie a couple times, Grandma Sophie does say, if you send Donnie, please put some real clothes on him. So the rest of the episode, Donnie's in a t-shirt and jeans.
Oh, I can't wait to watch. He's so adorable when he puts on actual clothes.
Yeah, it's like little bell bottoms too, and like the t-shirt's way too big for him. He is so cute.
So cute.
So yes, Marianne is clearly like so sad about this, but again,
does Darwin get to go too?
Yes.
Okay, so all four of them.
Darwin gets to go too.
Cool.
Grandma Sophie. So for some background, Grandma Sophie, I think, is also like was a wildlife biologist as well and that kind of stuff. So she's like, yeah, send the monkey, like send the chimp, like
I know,
no problems. I love animals. Cool. So yeah, so that's how Marianne like got into her career or something along the lines.
It's in the family.
Yes, precisely. So Marianne comes back out and confirms with Debbie and Eliza, yep, y'all are getting on this flight and going to America. Bring Darnie and Darwin. The girls are obviously on cloud nine again, thanking their parents so much. Gulan, the local guy there, is like, I mean, I gotta head back like towards like kind of town-ish. It seems like they're super remote. There's like a nearby like airstrip that, you know, like little propeller planes leave from. Yeah. And like somewhere beyond that a little bit or somewhere like is an establishment of some people. And so he's like, put your luggage in, like I can take y'all. Clearly, this is a big deal. Like, again, cash or check. I'll be a taxi as well. I got y'all. So, yes, because they're already packing, they load up their shit, hop on in, head to the airstrip. And as they're heading there, the girls start off by daydreaming about how delicious Thanksgiving's about to be. They're already arguing about what the best type of pie is, which they think it's cherry. I think it's apple, but whatever.
Cherry is definitely like the worst type.
Again, I was like,
whatever.
They've never had a real Thanksgiving.
True, I'll give them that.
Was my excuse for them.
They don't know how good apple pie really is.
Exactly. They don't know how wrong they are that it's apple pie. Yes. Hands down. And so, yes, Gulan drops them off at the airstrip while they wait for their flight. Again, this little tiny propeller plane, and he, goes off to go be with his family. I think he actually goes back. He does go back to be like, the girls are there. Here's the rest of your food delivery because you guys are still staying here.
Yeah, right. So, someone's paying for this food that I harvested.
Exactly. Like, I don't care if you finish it all. It's just the two of you now. It's not my problem.
Now you'll have leftovers.
Yep. So he heads off and the girls are waiting for, again, the flight, to leave or the time the flight's going to leave. And so as they're daydreaming about all of this food and glory, and Eliza's telling Darwin about all of it, Eliza kind of like slips out saying like, I wonder if mom would like the cherry pie more or the pumpkin pie. And then realizes like, oh shoot, like we were going to make her like papaya pie. And we never finished it. Like we never even started for her. Like, I feel really bad. And then Debbie is like, they're fine. Like they don't need a pie. They're not going to make the pie. And then kind of adds like, I wonder what they are doing right now though. Like we didn't really finish. We didn't prep the stuffing for them and all of that. They kind of left stuff unfinished for them. But Debbie tries to like shut this shit down and is like, Mom and Dad are fine. They made this choice. They're gonna have such a good time. They've got all the food from Gulan. We picked the papaya. I made centerpieces, even though lemurs destroyed them. Like, it's fine, Eliza. And you can kind of tell that Debbie's more trying to convince herself rather than Eliza that like their parents are fine. So to like be like, no, it's all fine. Debbie's like, you know what? Let's make sure we have everything. Let's get ready for this flight. And she starts digging through the bag to get their passports.
Yeah.
To be like, see, let's get back to being excited about this.
Yeah. We're leaving. We're going. Yay.
Yep. But in her bag, she finds that Marianne, their mom, packed that quilt tablecloth thing with a note as well.
Mm.
And the note says, girls, don't forget to add onto the quilt this year by drawing where you are for Thanksgiving like we do every year. And remember to date it so we can all remember where we were, even though this year we're half a world apart. We love you.
Aww.
So.
God damn it, Marianne.
Immediately the girls start crying and are heartbroken.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
homesick.
I'm about to cry.
Yeah. And it's like this, again, it's like this beautiful quilt. I didn't fully describe it earlier, but again, it has like a patch added on every year of like, we were in Kenya, we were in Mongolia, like we were in Iceland, and they all sign it and date it and draw a picture of like the location they're in.
Yeah.
So yes, the girls are like, we done fucked up.
We
like,
are horrible daughters.
Yeah, like we have devastated our mother who goes above and beyond for us, et cetera, et cetera. And so they decide not to go back to America, but instead to go back to camp and spend Thanksgiving like they do traditionally every year as a family. But Gulan has left.
Yeah.
But, when has no adult supervision ever stopped Eliza Thornberry? Never. And she gets a map that she has, and she's like, we can hike back to camp. But when has reading a map ever helped Eliza Thornberry?
Never, because she never reads one.
She literally has it out after they're already lost. Because yes, they immediately get lost.
They've already left, and then she's like, okay, let's find already left the airport. Yes. Okay, let me pull out this map now and see how we get back.
Literally
like started going the wrong way.
Like there would be a pilot at the very least there. They head back. Yeah, we see them so fucking lost. And this is the first time we see Eliza get out a map, look at it for about 8 seconds tops. And for 5 of those seconds, she's looking over it, talking to Debbie, Darwin, and Donnie. So it's probably
looking at it
upside down for all we know. This bitch does not know how to read a map. Absolutely not. And things keep getting worse for them because, yes, they immediately get lost. Oh, by the way, it's evening at this point, so it's getting darker.
It's getting dark. Great. Yep. And on Madagascar in this island.
Yep.
Okay.
Not only are the animals not helping Eliza, because of course she like goes off to be like, hey, can y'all help? She asks the chameleon. It just changes colors because it's probably like, I'm gonna blend in from this predator that is clearly approaching me.
Yeah.
And runs away from her. Then a snake lands on Debbie and starts curling around her, which hilariously Donnie saves the day because of course he just runs up, grabs its like neck and like lassos it around and like yeets it off into the jungle.
Donnie,
like no hesitation.
Donnie. Yeah.
Donnie, our wild child.
Yes.
And then Debbie pulls up her pant leg because they're kind of itchy. She's wearing real cute overalls, by the way, and pulls up her pant legs. And she is covered in something that Nigel earlier on had mentioned and wasn't relevant to the plot, in leeches.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Were they going through water?
I don't fucking know. Probably because they got lost as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Eliza didn't know what the blue on the map was, probably. Like, we talked about in our arc how Eliza makes everything worse.
She always, literally.
Yes. She probably was like, oh, look at this blue spot that doesn't have trees drawn on it. We could walk through here. And it was probably a fucking tropical swamp.
Oh my God.
So now they have to deal with that.
Debbie's going to get like lightheaded, all the blood being sucked out of her.
They're going to be like, where is that card from Gulan? We have to carry her now.
Yeah.
So while they're dealing with a leech covered sister, back at the Convy, Nigel and Marianne are getting back from yet another attempt at tracking the fossa, thwarted this time, but the fact that it's like fully nightfall, and they're just, they especially Marianne has just been beaten down emotionally for the day. And it's clear that she's just like been destroyed. She hates how quiet it is without the kids running around. She's questioning whether or not she did the right thing for the holiday, clearly reflecting on the fact that she, not even just now, but always tends to put work over the family.
Yeah.
And Gulan, at this point, the local man, comes back into the camp with, like, some more snackies and stuff, and lets the parents know that, like, I got your girls to the airport, like, they made it. And Nigel, seeing Marianne's heartbreak, makes the executive decision of, like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck the foundation. Fuck the fossa. We're going to go spend holiday with our kids. Gulan has the last flight of the night left yet.
This poor man.
Again, Gulan is not doing well. Like, he's getting the brunt of the stick here in this episode. Yes. Like, the butt of the stick, he's like, no, there's one more flight.
Left. You know that it's like a 35-minute like drive on dirt road.
I'm hauling the cart.
Yeah.
Like, we are walking to this. Like, you want me to? Yeah, I guess it hasn't fucking left yet.
Cash your car or cash your check. What is
exactly.
It be?
I do think Gulan in this moment is just like, you know what? One more taxi ride. I can spend it with my fucking family. They're not going to you know what? They've paid for this food. They're not going to eat it all. I'm just going to come pick it back up at camp. Like,
yeah.
We don't get a lot of tourists here. We need the money. Okay, fine. Yes, fine.
Yes, yeah, sure. Yes, I can get you back to the airport.
No fucking problem.
Yes.
But luckily, I will say that the Thornberrys are like, thanks for the info. We will drive to get to the airport.
Okay.
Like, we got the combi. We got you, et cetera, et cetera. And he's probably like, good, because I wasn't actually going to offer a ride. I was just going to say, yeah, there's one more flight tonight. Bye.
Have a good night.
Yeah. You need some gas for the combi?
I'll take money for that food now.
Yes, exactly.
Whether you're eating it or not.
Yeah, not my problem. Money, money, please.
Money, please.
As you and I often say.
Yes.
So, yes. And I think it's really important to note here that, remember, this show took place in, like, this episode came out in 2000. So they weren't like everyone has a cell phone, no less when you're in the middle of nowhere in Madagascar. Like, again, they only could contact people via their satellite, like radio. So it's not like they could text each other to be like, hey, mom and dad, we decided to come back.
Hey, mom and dad, we're stranded in the Madagascar jungle. We got lost. We left the airport without telling anyone at all.
Here, just let's drop a pin.
Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Like, we're just hoping that you guys still care about work more than us and are staying in one place. If we can even find it again, but doesn't look like we will.
Yes.
So, yes. I note this because as soon as Nigel and Marianne arrive at the airport, they talk to some airport personnel and they're all like, no, the girls didn't get on the flight. We saw them walking back into the jungle.
Imagine how fucking terrifying that would be as a parent, though, by the way.
Yeah. Like, this jungle
like, they
full
what?
Predators.
They what?
Yes. You just let them what?
Yeah.
And the people
but also, how dumb
like,
were they to, like... I mean, the girls could have asked, like, can you guys call that Gulan guy back or something? Or get in touch with him?
You guys, you're literally at an airport. You have radios. Can we radio our parents?
Yeah, radio the convy, say, hey, we're coming back. Sorry.
Here's the thing. Eliza always
is an idiot.
And was like, I got this. Like, this is Eliza's tradition.
Cursed by her own hubris.
Exactly. She's like, I can talk to animals. They'll know how to get human directions to camp, a thing animals have never heard of. So,
yeah, that's the other thing. Does she, like, expect every animal on the island to, like, know who her family is?
Yeah.
Again,
an American tradition.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of traditions happening here. So, yes, the parents learn this just as Eliza, Debbie, Darwin, and Donnie are able to stumble their way back into camp and now realize that their parents are gone. So, obviously, as each party realizes this, it starts to rain and downpour.
Classic Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah. And instead of staying in one place and saying, we'll wait here. Our parents are going to realize we didn't get on the plane and come back for us.
Mm-hmm.
They say, we got to get back to our parents who are probably at the airport. There was
This was
no
a Hundy P. Eliza's idea, wasn't it?
Yes.
Debbie's not calling any of the shots here. She needs to stand up here.
No, Debbie's not calling any of the shots. I'm sure the whole time Donnie is like screaming, being like, that's not what you do when you're lost. But it just comes out as his like,
yeah,
noises. Darwin is like, am I going to get turkey or not? Like the fuck is happening here? What are these pies that you speak of? Is it pecan or pecan? Tell me more, America.
Tell me. I need to know.
Yeah. So, Eliza's decisions continue to be bad because, yes, instead of staying in one place, et cetera, she is like, okay, we got to get back to the airport. And also, clearly the way we took was not a good idea. But look, like how we got here, that did not work. But look, we've been here for 4 weeks and have been exploring. I happen to know that there's a set of caves that we can go through. And like, I will say, okay, in full disclosure, like they are able, like they're starting to run back. They do run into Gulon again, who's like just trying to get the fuck back to his family. And he does say,
not these girls again.
Yeah, like, I don't know them.
Oh, hi.
He's going to act like he doesn't know English, like, et cetera. But he does say, he's like, yes, those caves are right there. Yes, there are boats that you can like hop on and kind of like get through like a little river system there, which 2 things happen. One, my immediate thought, everything comes back to it. Alexis's favorite movie, The Descent.
That's why I originally like did my off camera. Like, it's like, how many times are we going to talk about The Descent today?
Yes, today. We've talked about it a lot off camera today.
Yes.
But it comes back. It all comes full circle. The Descent.
Always.
Yes, that's my first
all roads
thought.
lead to Pawnee and to a random cave in like North Carolina or Tennessee or some
terrifying
shit with
golem creatures.
Golems. Yeah.
And so, yes, that was my first thought. The second thought is that like, as soon as they hear this, Donnie and Darwin obviously just following Eliza and Debbie, but Eliza asks no further questions and they're like, great, thanks. They hop up and start sprinting. They do not hear Gulon say, and watch out for the crocodiles. And they're gone. They're off into a dark cave at night full of crocodiles. So,
with Darwin, who is crocodile food, and Donnie,
who's crocodile food size,
and Eliza and Debbie, who, you know what, fuck it, if the crocodiles are hungry enough, they're crocodile food.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So
great.
The parents, on the other hand, are booking it back in the Comfy because they're like, I bet the girls are going back to camp. But of course, it's rainy and muddy and it's dirt roads everywhere. So of course, the Comfy spins out of control on this dirt road to the point where it's just teetering on the edge of the cliff. Marianne and Nigel have to slowly, carefully crawl out of the Comfy before they can figure out how the fuck to get back to camp now. And luckily, where they spun out of control is, you guessed it, a set of caves.
Great.
So they head into the caves for shelter to reconvene.
Mm-hmm.
So the cave, they all walk in. The girls, we'll start with them. It's full of stalactites and stalagmites. It's full of bats that we see everywhere.
That was my first thought.
Full of darkness and a rushing river through it. And they do indeed see a canoe there. So they just hop right into it. It's so like people can travel. Yeah, there's
okay.
There's
it's like a public access way.
Yeah, I guess so. Honestly, we've seen Eliza cross borders illegally. You think a canoe she's going to ask questions about?
She'll steal that shit without
no questions. No question of like, hey, by the way, does this river fork into different ways of this cave? Am I going to need spelunking? Is this just a straight shot?
Yeah, is there like a waterfall in here? Is this river? Okay, I'll put a pin in that.
So, one of Madagascar's main predators in the bush is indeed a crocodile. And we immediately see the crocodiles slip into the river as the canoe launches off. Because like you said, there's a couple crocodiles and they're like, Thanksgiving is tomorrow.
We've heard about this American holiday. Yeah. We should celebrate it here in this Madagascar cave.
1, 2, 3, and 4. We are making out good this year. We have a lot to be thankful for. I just walked right into our kitchen. And so, of course, the crocodiles close in on the kids in this canoe. And of course, the kids they start to notice them as the crocodiles with their noses start hitting the canoe to knock them out of it. A la how like orcas, like killer whales, will flip pieces of ice to knock seals off. Yeah. Which is a fun fact. If you've never seen, Google it. It's fucking wild. That's what the crocodiles are doing to these children right now. So naturally, they all start screaming. And luckily, on some other end of the cave, Nigel and Marianne hear the distinct screams of children. And specifically, as we've gone through almost every episode, they have heard their children scream so many times, and they always also know that it's because of something their children have done.
Yes, exactly.
They know the screams of like, oh, we fucked up. Not like, we're being murdered. But like, oh, we did this to ourselves and now we're in a lot of trouble. It's a distinct pitch that mainly Eliza gets.
Yes.
And Marianne and Nigel do see some canoes on their end of the cave as well. So they hop right in. Parent mode, they got to save their kids. Mm-hmm. So back with the crocodiles, they are rocking and rolling this boat. They are teetering over. And as they are like nudging it, indeed, the cave forks into many different paths. Mm-hmm. The crocodiles, very smart, nudge them in a certain direction, which, yes, you guessed it, is headed straight for a giant waterfall.
Oh my God.
So, like, are the crocodiles working with the golem creatures from the descent?
Probably.
To just knock them deeper into the cave?
They have a deal. They're like, we'll give you 2, we'll take 2.
They're like, you are one of us is the Native Americans, the other one is a pilgrim, and we are coming together on this Thanksgiving as crocodile and golems.
This is the Thanksgiving of Madagascar history.
This is our first cave Thanksgiving. Our peoples are going to come together this evening. So Eliza obviously is hearing this giant fucking waterfall. And she's got like a big kind of like paddle and is able to kind of like stick it between some boulders and kind of like stop the canoe from moving closer, and is able to like pivot it kind of close to the cave wall itself, which at the very least they could scramble up it and kind of get away for the time being. And then I guess figure it out. And Debbie, pulling good big sister move, is able to grab the paddle and like hold them there. She's a little stronger, and yells at Darwin, Donnie, and Eliza to scramble out of the boat and get to safety and like scale up this wall of like boulders and rubble. And so they do that. And as they're doing that, some of the crocodiles are straight up starting to crawl on the boulders that this canoe is now locked into, and is snapping their teeth, and their tummies are grumbling at Debbie, who, yes, is their Thanksgiving turkey now.
Yes.
But just in time, Nigel and Marianne speed down the river and start throwing stuff at crocodiles, which not only get them unfocused off of Debbie, but I guess like knocks them out, because we see them like fly over the edge of the waterfall and just like maybe die. I don't know. They probably hit some rocks at the bottom. Maybe they're fine. We don't know. Maybe the golems eat them now. Unclear.
Like you didn't live up to your end of the bargain.
Yeah, maybe does this start like the cave war? We don't know.
Yeah,
the first hit
cave war.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They don't know. All they know is some crocodiles are probably dead now. They don't know how it happened. But anyways, somehow, yes, they're able to probably just all scramble to shore, get out of the canoes. The parents get them out of the cave system. They're somehow able to save the convy. They call Grandma Sophie, R.I.P. Betty White, tell her like this plan just was not going to work together. We'll try next year for Thanksgiving.
Thanks for thinking of us.
Yes, that was a horrible plan from the get-go.
Yes.
And Debbie thanks her parents obviously for saving them and apologizes about her toot earlier, and admits that like no matter how weird they are, she does actually love their family traditions and gets out the tablecloth quilt and asks their mom to sign it first this year.
Aww.
And as they're about to update the family tradition quilt, a little fossa does walk through camp. And so they all run to film it, and they're all so excited. But you know who's not excited? Darwin. He is so upset that he is not giving his Thanksgiving feast in America. And Eliza says, Darwin, Thanksgiving isn't all about food. And Darwin says, well, what is Thanksgiving about, Eliza? And she doesn't answer him. She just goes off with her family. So, like, the true meaning of Thanksgiving, confirmed, is still food.
It's food.
The end. That's it. That's the episode.
It's funny because I imagine, and I can't, great job. I can't wait to watch this because I imagine that in reality, Eliza's like, the true meaning isn't food. And she like looks at her family, thus implying like it's family and everything. But Darwin's a fucking chimpanzee. He doesn't understand that.
Human context clues.
Exactly. He's like,
what it is.
What are you looking at? Eliza, what is it about? Come back, Eliza.
That's literally how it ends.
Yeah.
It's like she does the look away and runs off to like film the fossa together. And yeah, Darwin is literally like, what? What? Eliza, what?
Sentence.
Eliza, this is rude now. Now you're just being a dick, Eliza. After you've made a horrible night.
Exactly, as if she wasn't before.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Amazing.
So,
that was great. So, end of the day, all of this trauma, turmoil, all the drama, I blame Grandma Sophie. At first, I was thinking like this is all Eliza's fault, but no, if Grandma Sophie hadn't
stirred
done
this pot.
That is a massive wrench that she threw in their plans. Like,
you know what?
Last minute.
I bet Grandma Sophie's Thanksgivings are also a hot mess. Like if she stirred the pot like this, imagine being at that house for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
of being like she called Uncle Bob and was like, "Yeah, make sure you bring the turkey." And then Uncle Bob shows up with the turkey, and she's like, I made the
we already
turkey
have
this
2
year.
turkeys.
Yeah.
Why would we need a third turkey?
What, do you not like my turkey?
Yeah.
So you made an additional one? And he's like,
own?
no, Mom, you
Sophie,
asked me
you
to
told
make
me
one.
To bring one.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Why would I do that when I made 2?
Are you calling me a liar on Thanksgiving? Yeah. Betty White, Grandma
and
Sophie.
All the other people like drop their glasses and stuff like
yeah. Glass drop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Marianne knew too.
Oh, yeah, she's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, she's like, our family tradition is peaceful out here. I don't want to deal with family dramas.
Grandma Sophie is like, don't worry, guys. Like, I'll have the whole meal planned out. You don't have to worry about bringing a single thing. Like, don't worry about it. Just come with yourself, your love. We're gonna have so much fun. Everyone shows up empty-handed. It's just like, oh wow, no one could help out.
You didn't even offer?
Seriously, you didn't even offer to bring something?
Which, you know
I
what?
guess I'll just do everything by myself like I always do.
Which, you know what? The drama of Grandma Sophie is confirmed because I will say earlier, when Nigel and Marianne are at the airport before they know that the kids are gone, Nigel does call Grandma Sophie to be like, we're going to come to you. And Grandma Sophie, a cutting blow. And it took me a second to like understand the joke here. But it's because Nigel's Australian, but she goes British. Yeah. Thank you. British. But she goes, oh, wow. It means so much that you guys are going to come because your people don't even celebrate this holiday, Nigel, do they?
Damn.
I was like, what? And
Savage
I was like, oh, yeah.
Sophie.
Yeah. Being like, oh, you decided to come even though you don't even care about this holiday. Like, I can't believe you would even make the time, you Brits. Wow. Yeah, it's just Grandma Sophie stirring the pot.
Yeah, she lives to stir the pot.
A family tradition.
Yeah.
And the true meaning of Thanksgiving all at once. So
getting together and having that pot stirred heavy.
Last episode, the turkeys were savage. This episode, Grandma Sophie is savage.
AKA Betty White. You know what? perfect voicing for that sort of a character. Then let's just say,
like the perfect, like sweet grandma voice who just destroys you.
Yes, in that voice. Sweet grandma voice, absolutely,
yep. Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah,
great job,
amazing. Thank you. And we will continue our Thanksgiving arc the next, I think, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I think it's just 2. Mm-hmm. And between now and then, when you will be telling another Thanksgiving tale, who should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
You should tell, especially if you're traveling somewhere for the holidays, tell the people working at the airport. Yeah, let them know. And give them a heads up if you're leaving and not going to make your flight. They'll be like calling for you anyway. Like, please arrive to your gate. Where the fuck are you?
Our lives are hell because it's Thanksgiving and travel time.
Exactly. So yes, tell them so that they can wind down after the hectic travel season.
Amazing.
With this podcast. Who should they tell?
I think you should, yes, if you're traveling for the holiday season, tell whoever you're sitting on the plane next to. Mm-hmm. Tell them briefly that it's a long flight from Madagascar to wherever in America. You should listen to this podcast and then put your own headphones on and listen, because do not continue to talk to whoever you're sitting next to. No one wants that shit.
No.
We're not here to socialize on a plane. Tell them about the pod and then shut it down.
And then boom, done. If they try to ask you any further questions, just say, nope.
Point to the podcast. Be like, sorry, I'm listening. Yeah. Listening on your own.
See this? Get it.
You don't want to miss it. Yeah, that's how important this is. I can't talk to you. So, yeah.
Amazing.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.